Hello everybody and welcome to Game 2, Week 8, King of the Hill. We have in front of us right now a new king selected by our own moderator, Angel. It is the fearsome J4Jet.
And in the West, he is a number 3 on the British ladder, number 1 on the USF ladder, number 1 on the OKW ladder, number 3 on the Soviets, number 2 on the Wehrmacht. He's been playing a lot of auto match recently. It's Karl.
Yeah, Karl, we saw a couple of... Actually, no, was it last week we saw Karl for the first time? All these just blend into one now, but we saw Karl play... I can't remember who against, actually. It's a bit bad, isn't it? You can see on the spreadsheet anyway.
It wasn't a great game. It was a rubbish game. He didn't play very well.
Do you know what? It had some really good moments in it.
Did it? Am I remembering it wrong?
The game in general. The Panzer II Lukes versus the A half-track from the USF down the centre. Do you remember? With the A half-track 1. Okay. It was a game of just really good moments, but Karl just didn't make the distance. That was the big thing. After the early game, it just kind of became a bit weird. So this is his redemption game.
Okay, I've got that game in front of me now. It was on Holodny Firma, same map. It was from Karl fighting from the east position. He's now in the west. Karl at that point was OKW, he's now Wehrmacht, and at that time he was against Brostras's USF. So very different factions, different starting positions, and a very different enemy. J4Jet is as different as you can get from a player as he is from Brostras. J4Jet is an aggressive, micro-intensive player, and Brostras is a steady build, composition-based player. So we'll see how this matchup stacks up.
I just want to point out a really, really good micro from J4Jet there. He actually timed his walking from this green cover position to the building when the MG was reloading. And that meant, of course, the MG wasn't firing and didn't get suppression shots on. So really good play there. Picking moments between reloading machine guns is you know, a really important thing to do in this game if you're moving from cover to cover.
We saw some great micro in the southeast as well. The Grenadiers of Karl exited the church and then jumped just beyond the cone of fire of the MG, but then the MG just ignored the situation and got in the church. However, it only has one man in that squad, and he's currently in the roof section shooting from that building. If he gets headshotted, that's a dead squad and weapon.
It is, yeah, it's a difficult one, and he's got the Universal Carrier coming up at the moment to try and help this MG in the church tower, and he might actually win this engagement.
There's another Grenadier! There's another Grenadier, and he's might be able to get the squad wipe through the steeple. Universal Carrier couldn't get there in time. Karl with an early squad wipe.
Yeah, that's
280 manpower down the drain. 280.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. I think actually it seemed like the right decision in the end to stay in the church, but you know, I think either way he was going to lose that squad. So keeping them in there and getting some model drops is at least going to dampen the blow in manpower that J4Jet's just received. Not a good start though.
No, to be honest, I just think it was an overly aggressive move that was punished, and that's exactly what Coming Heroes will do. If you're overly aggressive, i.e. not aggressive within the realm of where you should be, you do something silly, like instead of retreating in the MG, you decide to go towards your enemy's side of the map and get in a church, and then wait for the UC to save you, you're going to get punished, and that's exactly what we just saw happen.
He's not doing too badly, given that loss in terms of map control. Universal Carrier is upgraded with the Wasp, and I love seeing this thing. This is fantastic. So he's caught the MG off guard here. Long range flamethrower is about to open up on the MG34, and there we go, chasing that away. Yeah, you know, I don't think he's doing too badly.
No.
It's one of those things with Brits, though. It's like we just saw on the south. He got caught off with the Grenadiers building green sandbags, and if you get caught in an engagement in negative cover as Brits, you just got to get out immediately at the start game. It's so hard.
So the Universal Carrier is an interesting weapon of war. It's one of those things that allowed the Brits to be increasingly mobile throughout the war. 113,000 of them were built. They're pretty much, you know, mobile kind of platforms for everything, and the Wasp upgrade was one of those fearsome weapons of war that was very controversial. See the huge tanks in the back there shooting a hot propulsion of very sticky, flammable substrate.
Well, you know, I remember this conversation we were having about the crocodile. Was it banned by the Geneva Convention for its just gruesome destruction of the battlefield? And
after the war, it was, yeah.
The Wasp is just a more mobile version.
No, it is. I mean, the Brits use these things to huge effect, and eventually they got to the point there where they'd literally dry spray a German position because the Germans were that fearful of what the British were doing that they'd literally surrender having just the stuff sprayed over them without being ignited. Oh. So they just squirt it through like a bunker and everybody just come out with their hands up. That's the situation they eventually got themselves in.
Wow. Fantastic to be in that position if you are the defender or the aggressor wanting victory, but yeah.
The battle at hand now, though. J4Jet's doing very well with the skeleton crew of units. He's, interestingly, Dan, gone for a rarely seen upgrade on the infantry section, pyrotechnic supplies. So, very interesting there.
It is interesting. I think it's less interesting that he's picked pyrotechnic supplies, because I think we do at least see one with every Brit game. But it's interesting to see it picked now. Yeah, I do actually, yeah. But
so early in this game to have
it is early.
One of them to have pyrotechnics. It's a very quick thing to have done, I would have said.
It is early, and it kind of makes me think, what is it for? Maybe it's because he is not able to invest in indirect fire. This is his unit that will provide that should we see the MG again. Because now, obviously, you know, the Wasp universal carrier has been seen. It could be that Karl is making provisions to counter this.
He is indeed. He's just starting to build the 222. The scout car is coming out with that autocannon upgrade, already embedded on its hull, and it's going to be running straight for the UC.
Oh, I think... Oh no, Karl accidentally set his MG up right in the middle of the flames there, and he just pops veterancy. If he does decide to use Incendiary, it will take a while before he can fire those rounds. Great support from the Grenadiers, which would have been able to Faust and kill the Universal Carrier. But here is its successor.
The AEC is in the build, indeed. So having a nice escalation through early game teching, and it's been a very flavoursome early game, spicy one would say.
Spicy turbo.
Oh, indeedy doody, from our good friend Magpie for Rip Arena there. 222 comes in, straight in for the infantry section.
Yeah, 222 has nothing to fear really at this point. I think Karl knows that he's got enough infantry to push the map. He'll see an AT gun before it comes around. He'll also be able to hear the AEC. It's one of the great features of this game, is being able to hear units before they arrive on your screen. And AEC just coming onto the field now with its own, you know, individual noise profile. Will sound the alarm bells for Karl as it comes close.
Removing my work pants in chat says, I tried playing this game once, holy micromanagement. But that's the great thing about Daniel Hodden and Matt Dunn Enterprises, aka Stormless and AE. We'll bring you top level players and we'll force them to play this game for your enjoyment. So they'll have to do the stuff we don't want to do, which is sweat it out in these battlefields, microing everything around the place, and we'll make them fight each other like monkeys in a cage. And this is the entertainment we bring for you, so hopefully you can stick around.
Exactly. And if they don't, we won't feed them. Indeed.
Well, we've electrified the bottoms of the cages now, so at the very least they'll dance. You know, it's an interesting enterprise. Some might say immoral, but it certainly works. Gren's again trying to threaten the Wasp with the Faust, but the Wasp darts away.
So here's a great one. We do have our first commander pick. It's actually from Karl, who is seemingly at the advantage in this game at the moment. He's gone for mobile defense, which famously can bring out the Puma. And not to say that the Puma was really needed, but I think he's actually trying to make use of the Ostroupen here. Ostroupen are going to be able to go in. They will be able to get a Faust on the AEC. Incendiary rounds are already tearing through that AEC.
Oh, nice! That was cool. I really enjoyed seeing that. But look at this Tommy. He's really difficult position here. The 222 couldn't get him, though, because those trees were in the way. Interesting change with December balance patch down. Of course, the Ostroupen no longer have to gamble to get their MG42 LMGs. They can actually just get them at battle phase 2. But saying that, he has actually luckily got one anyway, so he doesn't have to wait.
It's always when we make a point, it's instantly contradicted, isn't it? But
oh no, I started with, in this case, with kind of knowing it, and then I realised as I was reading the tooltip, I was wrong. So I was like, I changed it into.
So as well as being upgradable, they still have the random chance to come out with upgraded weapons, which is cool. Universal Carrier needs to be careful here. It's going to be caught off by the Ostroupen. Faust is initiated. That is going to take engine damage. Where is the scout car to make that final push? Karl may get cocky and go for it, but he does need to be careful now. AC and snipers from the field.
Big piece of aggression to go for it. He's actually doing it, the madman. He's bloody going for it. Or at least he's having a look. He's having a poke around the battlefield.
He's got absolutely nothing to fear. And,
well, he's just seen a sniper as well, so he knows that maybe the manpower isn't quite there for, of course, the 6-pounder. But he can't see that for himself, so he's not sure, and he's wimped out of the situation.
Tommy's trying to hold their ground on the Panzer IV carcass south of the strategic point. AC is going to try and go and help this engagement out a little bit, but Karl pushing J4Jet back across the map, trying to get his foot seemingly on the King of the Hill rankings, which he was not able to do before. And I've got to say, it's really good to it's really good to see people who come back into the do you know what I mean, into the tournament and keep giving it a go. I would hesitate to say it is Paula, by the way, because we consistently know that Paula doesn't wake up in time for King of the Hill.
No, he like comes at 7 o'clock and says King of the Hill on. So
every time, as soon as it's finishing. What, guys, come
on, I'm here.
Let me play.
Please, let me play.
Yes,
so,
Paula, because we owe you a game. Like,
of course we do. We all want to see Paula play. Everybody wants to see those blobs coming into action. So the entirety of chat, by the way, is having a... pyrotechnics, by the way, on the MG34. Keep an eye on that. Sniper takes a shot. Not gonna hit. Gets out of there. It looks good, though, Dan. It looks great.
It does. It looks... You know, I'm watching the shells come up from the British base all the way across the map.
See them on the roof. Look at the splinters. They're really cool looking. You might get the chance to see the splinters.
That's nice. But stuff is happening, believe it or not, in this game. And we're getting a Faust through the hedgerow. Good job getting that one, I would say. But Puma is now on the field and is going to be chasing the AC. Engine damage with no chance whatsoever.
Oh, there you go. The scout car combination. Puma and Science Fancy.
And yeah, as we've fashionably named him now, Winnie the Puma. When this doctrine is used from the advantage point and used correctly. Oh no!
Go on.
Wait, the wasp!
The wasp is about to be taken out by the Puma, possibly. It's reversing away. Dan's going up. Several octaves.
Best in-game explosion coming in. Are you ready?
Oh, I can't wait.
Wait, what? You took a
shot? Burning up, Dan. It's going to burn up. No. What? It survived that? I've never seen the 2-2's now going to target it after it's finished with the sniper. J4Jet is having a mare right now. Oh, look at that for an explosion. That is cool. Sniper, by the way, just about surviving. Will the 2-2 finish him off? Yes, he will. He's died for the cause there, died for the Reich.
Yeah, he does still need to be careful, by the way. J4Jet has picked Special Weapons Regiment. He's got the Boyd anti-tank rifles on the Tommy squads now. That is J4Jet's AT as it stands. But the good thing is, with the scout car gone, this is now just an infantry versus infantry battle that the Brits can still win. You know, Karl, who's gone for the Puma, bear in mind, you know, he's put himself back on the fuel resource, so he's not going to be teching, and you know, the Puma isn't going to be so great against infantry. So there, you know, there is slim hope to get back in this still.
There is slim hope, as you know, as much hope as. I couldn't use that joke then, it was too controversial, so I've had to literally just have dead air time. Just know that I filtered myself live on air.
What?
What? A shot from a Puma, that was ridiculous.
After just saying that it will contribute nothing to the infantry engagement.
Oh, look at the LMGs on retreat, that's one dead Tommy.
Oh no, if it survives, that would be even more impressive, but there we go. Squad is down. You don't really see that happen often.
They must have been really, really focused around that piece of cover there, like all bunched up and just primed for that very accurate but low area of effect profile shell from the Puma. Just ate a snare. Of course, was the heat grenade.
Look at that. Incendiary rounds. It wasn't even enough just to suppress the infantry. Incendiary rounds popped on to just wipe the health down from those models, just securing that they had to retreat whilst this Puma gets to work. Now the Puma shots here could take this green cover down where the Brits are currently residing, and doing that of course would take away some of their efficiency. So this could be
both, yeah. proficiency and efficiency for a Brit squad. It gets both. Ostrupen in a battle in the north there. Tommy's word trying to break out of the position, but it doesn't matter because we've just had two huge rifle grenades go off on the poor Vickers machine gun. He's going to try and retreat. If this dies, he's pretty much out of the game, it must be said. He really needs this MG to survive. He's going for it with the Puma. He's got the LMGs firing, and he gets it. What are you doing, Puma? This isn't your job.
What?
I know, I just love to kill.
Oh my god, I've never seen a Puma behave like this, actually. Never before. I mean, look at the pool of infantry carcasses there. Just
sickening.
It is, it really is. Now we've got the Command Panzer IV, so Karl, who isn't going to tech at all, he's just kind of reaping the benefits of mobile defense. It's actually becoming more popular to see this picked, even when you're in the lead, which is really good in a sense, because it used to be Panic Puma. It's now Winnie the Puma. We've coined it a...
Well, we've got... I've always maintained that mobile defense is either good at the very early game or as a panic option. But if you're in a lead and you want to get these call-in vehicles out, it's the last salvaging bastion of the call-in meta. It still remains for this particular commander. So if you can push your initiative and keep yourself on point without having to retreat to base and get tier 3 up, which is quite good for Wehrmacht, and that's exactly what we're seeing. So it's either Panic Puma or Winnie the Puma, as we've seen. Because you're winning, so it's Winnie the Puma. Very, very clever, aren't we, Dan?
They're trying to take it.
We are. I like it.
So in chat earlier, we were having a Spartacus-esque moment of everybody claiming to be Paula. Paula is a member of the Hearts of Iron clan, or the Hoi clan, whatever they are, that he's a member, and so is Karl.
No,
clanmates.
I'm told he's not anymore, which is actually why I removed his name from the weight screen.
Oh, he's been pushed out for being too good at the game. Only,
I think it's been pushed out because it's too obvious it's Paula. You know. Who knows? Who really knows?
much like when Jove and Nagano pretended to have a spat just to make their game more exciting. That was nice. Blobberino from Karl there, acting as one sentient group. So it's creepy when the Grenadiers just change direction all at once, like they're guided by a hidden power, aka the player. Breaks the illusion of it being anything like historical authenticity. 12 men suddenly change direction!
Yeah, he's got the Gren blob going. It's good. I mean, when you're at this stage of the game, I don't think you can be demeaning to a player who's blobbing like this, because you know he's just doing what he needs to do to close the game. Do you know what I mean? This is it. He's got his army. There's nowhere else for it to be. Why not put it up the middle of the map? It's not like he played all the game like this. But you know, now of course all of these units clearly on one control group.
It is a valid strategy for lobbing. It's there to be punished though. There's so many mechanics in this game that will punish it. So if your opponent's doing it, it's for one of two reasons. It's early game and he needs to blob to push your very, very cool unit off like a Stern Pioneer. Or it's late game and he's bad BMing you because he's too lazy to split them up, and that's exactly what we're seeing.
Yeah, well, we have triple cap on the victory points right now, double munitions, and soon to be double fuel with a well-placed MG. Also managing to cap from a very good position there. So it's very, very difficult position for J for Jet. He played an amazing first game to take down Helping Hands today, but he hasn't been able to keep that incredible effort up against Karl.
Look at this onslaught. He's literally marching these Tommies on World War I style against LMGs, just cutting them down, and a heavy machine gun as well, and it's just not going to plan at all for Jay. He's tactically and strategically beaten at this point. It's checkmate for Jay for Jet.
We fight bravely for the Reich.
It is indeed, and 200 VPs. Question comes to mind now is, will J for Jet try and last out to get a Crocodile? And if he does, is that going to be enough to make any difference in this game right now? Karl's gone for the second Puma, so actually, you know, Crocodile could still do damage. It would be at least devastating to the infantry. Jay has to make a difficult decision, and I think he's making a good move towards recovery here. Which
marching into that bunker. It's a great decision. He's going to
Precisely.
march all of those units into the bunker that he doesn't know is there. It's a fantastic concept and idea, well executed. And the S-mine. Oh, he's sweeping that at least. He's sweeping the S-mine.
Enemy is taking our
General Haig, you've done it again, old boy. Give yourself
Marvelous.
a pat on the back.
Oh, yes, I thought it touch and go there, but I've decided to march the boys off into that machine gun fire. It seems to have worked the first time, the second time, and the third time. And I'm
We are-
hopeful this time as well.
We are, as usual, quite literally one step closer to victory. But there we go. J for Jet has surrendered. And that is going to be a seemingly simple victory for Karl. All right, game 2, which was a very, very quick game 2, 20 minutes and 18 seconds. That is resulting in Karl, our new king of the hill, and for the first time putting his stamp back in after a not so impressive first showing previously. Hey, shall we get picking our new king?
Are you kidding me? Is it time? Is it time once again? I'm not allowing you to say it this time.
It is indeed. It is time, everybody, to spin the wheel. Maxim Ratatata.
Maxime Ratata, Jove, Maxime Ratata. Thank you, Ace Thomas host.
Oh, do you know what? It was nearly my pick, A, but instead,
Is it mine?
It is A's pick.
Oh, no way. I love this option. This is great.
A gets
Okay.
to pick from the list of players.